Just over 30 days ago, I started a challenge with the Moto X, and as we round it out and come to a close, I'm telling you my final list of pros, cons, and whether you should buy this device. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. It's the 30-day, the conclusion video of the Moto X. Let's kick it off. The 30-day challenge with the Moto X has come to a close, and I'm here to round out my final list of pros and cons on this device and tell you who this device is for and who it's not for, because like anything else, there are pros and cons, and some people are going to love this device and some people aren't. That said, let's take a look and see what those are. Con-wise, we'll start right out. The camera is probably the biggest weakness on this device. It's the one issue I've had consistently with the 30 days. 10 megapixels, you'd think pretty decent, and overall, image quality is pretty decent on this device. It's not terrible by any means, but when you compare it to other devices that are at the same price point, $199 with a 2-year agreement, such as the HTC One and the Galaxy S4, picture quality is notably better, and also there are additional options within the software. So yes, chalk up some of those things on the One or the Galaxy S4 perhaps to gimmicks. Maybe you don't use them and think they're gimmicks, but I find some of those photo editing options to be quite useful on the Galaxy S4 and on the HTC One. I think Zoe's fantastic, and I think the highlight reel is fantastic, and then within the Galaxy S4, I use the dual shot on a pretty regular basis when I'm working with the Galaxy S4, and then again, you know, in terms of editing options, I use some of the stuff like getting rid of things in the background pretty regularly. So that's something to keep in mind if you're a camera buff. So if you're a camera person, this might not be the device for you. The pros to this device, and if you are one of these people, you're going to like the Moto X a lot. Near stock Android. This is running a pretty close version to Android 4.2, the stock build of Jelly Bean, and you can see apps and widgets in the same place. On-screen buttons here, as you can see, very similar, and for people that like a device that fits pretty easily in the hand, even though it has a 4.7-inch display, it's curved nicely. This thing is probably the best phone on the market right now for conference calls. I'm on calls, I feel like, all day long, and so when I use my cell phone, when I'm out of the office and don't use my desk phone, this thing is incredibly comfortable to hold up to the ear for a prolonged period of time. Probably should have thought this out. Blue on blue. Interesting. Anyway, it's easy to hold up for prolonged periods of time, and plus the little Motorola logo acts as a place for your index finger, so as you're holding it up to your ear, it makes for a really comfortable fit in that regard. So you got that, you got stock Android, you got some really nice software value adds here. So even though this is not the Galaxy S4, the HTC One, or the Optimus G Pro with their litany of software features, you do have some goodies under the hood here. You just have to dig for them a little bit. Moto Assist is one of those where you can come in here and do driving, meeting, and sleeping. As I've talked about in previous videos, Moto Connect, so you can send and receive text messages and see missed calls on your computer. And then over here, we'll go in so you can take a look. And actually, you know what, I'll do it this way. Okay, Google Now. The live OK Google Now prompt, which some people love. I haven't used it that often in 30 days, but it is nice for a quick, OK Google Now, what's the weather like in Dallas? I feel like that's what I use it for the most as a part of this 30-day challenge. Really outside of that, I don't schedule alarms or anything with it. I like to do that stuff manually. But right now, 96 degrees, actually a pretty cool day in Dallas right now. Our cool temperature right now, we've been in the hundreds for most of the week. So a nice pro there, and that comes with the Droid Ultra as well. So if you work with any of Motorola's recent devices, the Droid Ultra, the Droid Max, the Droid Mini, or the Moto X, you'll get that ability as well. The question is, a lot of people are going to look at this, particularly nerds. This is less of a consumer issue, but nerd tech enthusiasts and like are going to look at this and say, this phone is $200 on a new 2-year agreement, or a renewal of a 2-year agreement. It's got a dual-core processor, even though it's powered by the Motorola's X8 architecture. They read dual-core, they think, hey, 2 is less than 4, it's got to be bad. This thing is incredibly fast in day-to-day tasks, and just because it's got a dual-core processor as opposed to a quad-core or a standard quad-core processor, it really is a fast device all around, proving that specs, much like in the computer race several years ago, specs don't matter nearly as much as they used to in the overall cell phone game. 4G LTE has been fast. Overall, I really like this device, and this thing does the phone function incredibly well. You know, we get in smartphones, we talk about the Notes and the phablets and the Optimus G Pros and the tiny phones and the big phones. This thing does a couple of things really well. One of those is it's just a great phone. Call quality is fantastic, battery life's relatively decent, it's gotten better over time, and just for a phone, holding it up against your ear, it is fantastic all around. Really enjoyed this device, but it's on to the next 30-day challenge, so I'll leave it to you to guess what that is. In the meantime, hit me up on Twitter with your thoughts on this device, PhoneDog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Thanks for watching. More to come in the 30-day challenge series, actually pretty quickly after this video, so keep it locked on PhoneDog.com. And as always, I'll see you next time.